up, everybody? It's your boy, Nick Wood, the king of digital real estate. I want to talk with you guys really briefly about a little niche that we call epoxy, okay? Garage floor epoxy, epoxy coatings. Some of you that are watching this, maybe from out of the country, if you're not familiar, you could type it in, obviously, and research it. But the niche is very simple. It's basically coatings that go typically in garages, right? So you have the garage and it's typically just concrete. So this epoxies, they come in, my voice is squeaking, I don't know what's going on. They come in and they put this coating down. Sometimes they put flakes in it, makes it look really clean, makes it easy to clean. And I've actually done this on my own garage floor. And I'm telling you, if you own a home, if you have not done this yet, once you do it, you will never go back. You cannot, it looks good, it cleans up well, it just makes your garage actually feel like usable space, not just some dumpster zone that you put everything you don't want to look at. So highly recommend the service. I put it in this house I'm sitting in. I just bought a rental property. We're putting it in there with the company logo. So you guys are going to see the smiley face that you guys see all over the place. It's going to be in that. That's in the old MILF Lodge. Get more details to come. Just go ahead and interpret as you will. But I want to tell you guys my thoughts on the epoxy niche. And this comes because somebody commented on a video or a post or something and on my recommendations of niches that should be focused on. And somebody said, epoxy should be in this list. That's what they said. And so I'm like, well, let me share my thoughts because I will tell you guys, I have done the niche. I have a client right now in the niche. I've had 2 or 3 clients at some different times. Right now I have one client that's been with me for years and years. It's the same person that did my epoxy. And it's not a huge deal, but they're a client. And I just want to share my thoughts. So first and foremost, I'm just going to come out and kind of cut to the chase. It's not my favorite niche, okay? It's just not. Do I like the service as a customer? Absolutely. But is it my favorite niche? No freaking way. I'm going to tell you why and give you some reasons why. But it's not one that I'm going to openly shout from the rooftops, go into. And it's kind of a weird one. You almost have to go into the niche yourself to know the nuances of the niche, because on paper, it looks like it's a pretty good niche, right? It's a fairly high ticket. There's decent search volume in all the cities. So on paper, it looks good. But once you get into this niche, you find out that it is very dependent on the company that you work with and the business owner that you work with. And what I mean by that is epoxy is a service where customers don't really know the difference. They don't realize that there can be a huge difference between one epoxy company to the next. In their head, it's just epoxy. And so a lot of them, they're literally just looking at price. They're looking at price. If you have a couple good projects that you've done, you could show pictures of, they're going to go with you. And so what you have to find is you have to find the right business owner. You have to find a business owner that knows that they have to educate the customer. If they have a high price point, if there's somebody that's trying to, sell on quality and they have this product that's better than everybody else and they do extra coats, they have to be somebody that knows how to sell and knows how to educate the customer. If they do not, they are not going to close deals. And as I've said, my friends, time and time again, if your business owner does not make money, they will cancel. Whether today, next month, 6 months, 2 years, they will cancel if they do not make money. And so you have to, it's so dependent, it's so crucial. It's crucial in any niche, but especially in epoxy, because people don't know that there's all these different variations and there's different things that happen. You have to have somebody that knows how to sell. And a lot of selling epoxy is educating the customer. And if you go and find a business owner and they're like, yeah, I'll pay you for leads. By the way, I'm the highest, I charge the most in the area. They might be able to get away with charging the most to referrals because maybe their brother used them and they send them their number and they use them because their brother. But when we're talking about leads that came off of the internet, when they're going to have to bid potentially against other people in town, they have to know how to sell. They have to know how to educate. And if you don't find the right business owner, you are going to send them leads. You're going to fulfill on your end, but they're not going to close deals. They're not going to make money. And they're going to blame you and say it's because of your leads and they suck and all this stuff, which isn't the case. They just need to learn how to close, right? So that's one of the reasons I don't love it. It really, 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 really depends on the business owner. I've had somebody I've been working with, again, like I said, for years. But I've also at certain times, once I got this business owner, I did the same thing I always do. And I started building a few other sites. And those clients, they just didn't stick. And it's because of this reason. So that's one reason that I'm not a massive fan of epoxy. Here's the second reason. And this is more of a gut thing, but I think I'm pretty accurate here, at least if I were to guess. I'm not convinced that epoxy is recession proof, or at least recession resistant. And the reason why is just thinking about it intuitively. If things get tight for people, I don't think people are going to put a huge priority on putting a coat on their garage floor. Okay, I just don't. I can't help but think when things get tight, that's going to be something that is at the bottom of the list, period. Okay, tree service, tree falling on your house, tree tipping on your house, you have to do it. You have to get it removed. That's very, very necessary. That is recession proof, right? Epoxy looks good, cleans up well. Do you need it to survive? Do you need it to make sure your house doesn't get damaged? No. Okay. So that is one reason. And as things are shifting and as we're looking at I think we're technically in a recession per the whatever statistics, I'm not loving those two things. The fact that you need a really good business owner. And on top of that, it's not super recession proof, at least in my opinion. And those are the reasons. And those two things combined with my experience is why you're not going to find me screaming from the housetops, epoxy, epoxy, epoxy. I know it's confusing because it is high ticket, it has good volume, but I don't know. Again, this is one of those things I can only speak from experience because on paper, and this is why it's so valuable to have this experience. On paper, it looks great. On paper, it looks like it should be the best niche in the world. But for me, I'm not going to be going into it. I have my client. I have a couple sites. We'll keep renting those out. I will not be building, I'll just say this, I will not be building epoxy sites in 2023, 24, 25, unless I get a referral or that's it. Unless I get a referral that's literally like, here, give me your money. And I look at the data and it looks like it's low hanging fruit, low CPC, all that stuff. I will not be going into epoxy. Take it or leave it. Don't trust me. Just try it.